Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Sports, the morning show, man. And we got a special guest today, but we're gonna get to that. Mo, how you doing feeling this morning, brother?
Doing great. Another blessed day, another sports day.
Will, what's up, big dog?
How y'all doing this morning? How y'all doing this morning?
Hey, morning,
And ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Seven, the MLB expert. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm still recovering from that canned and aluminum foil thing. I can't wait till we talk about that.
So let's talk about MLB, good brother.
Man, I wanted to start off with this because I mean, even for those of you that don't know about baseball, I think this was a fantastic thing. A recent Baltimore Orioles game, umpire got a call wrong and then immediately corrected himself and made the right call. And we don't see umpires or referees in any sport do this very often. Would something I would pose this question to you guys first. Would something like this reduce the criticism that we see on referees across all sports? If referees did this more often willingly?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A referee that takes accountability for their own mistakes and willingly corrects themselves, yeah, that would change a lot of perceptions about officials.
What we think? Oh, go ahead, Carmen. Sorry.
Okay, Carmen.
Is that a thing that's really allowed? Like they don't have replays or nothing in MLB for that kind of stuff.
They do. Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, there's the replays in MLB are actually not just there. Like there's a challenge system in MLB for a lot of stuff now. Each team gets 2 challenges per game, and they've got some replay review. It actually takes place at the headquarters in New York, and they're adding the which I think we're going to talk about here. I'm going to add on to this, and we're going to talk about this in a minute. But they're in the process right now. It looks like either next season or the season after, we're going to be adding a challenge system for the balls and strikes. So there is definitely already some stuff in play, and it is expanding. It's just it's new to the MLB over the last couple of seasons, but it is there.
Okay.
Well, what do you think?
I think that is good. We had a tennis story last week that Gene brought that one of the judges over there, I think it was a judge, pretty much did similar to the same thing, corrected the call. I like when they do that because again, they're taking accountability for their actions, and like that looks good amongst us as fans.
I would rather an umpire say, "Hey, I got this wrong," immediately and correct it. Because like when I umpired games when I was in high school, I umpired Little League games when I was in high school, and I had to do that a couple times, and I didn't see it as a bad thing because I'm also one where accountability, and I believe that officials should be criticized every step of the way, just like athletes are, because they're part of the show. This is all for entertainment. They are part of the show. So my question to you is my next question to you guys. I mean, with the fact that they are looking at bringing in the challenge system for the AB for balls and strikes, does this is the league blatantly undermining umpires because of a lack of accuracy for calls at the plate for balls and strikes, or is this just purely making the game better? Will, what do you think?
See, because umpires are human, and to me, the thing about sports that makes it compelling for me is the human factor. That's the thing that makes it competitive for me. So if you're going to take that human factor away, because I don't know how they're reviewing it. Is it going to be AI that they're reviewing it? Is it another person reviewing it? I don't know how they're going to go about that. But to me, I don't want that taken out of the game because that makes sports. The human factor is what makes sports. So if you're going to judge it by a machine or by AI of some type, then you're taking away the greatest thing in sports. And now, if you have a human being doing it, the person who's over the umpire who's looking at the call says they're human as well. What if they get it wrong?
So the way that the system works, for those of you that don't know, is there are sensors that are basically all around the area, and they're using cameras as well. And if a pitcher, catcher, or batter disagrees with the umpire's call, they just tap their head. And all three, it's the same. Tap their head twice, and the umpire says they've challenged it, and then it comes up on the Jumbotron as an AI regeneration of where the ball went through the strike zone. And the strike zone is actually judged to the individual player's strike zone. So it's not just the standard little box that we see on TV. It's the player's actual strike zone based on the way that the rules are supposed to be set. And then you can see what the actual call was. And then if it was a ball and the ump called it a ball, call stands. If it was a strike and they call it, whatever the case may be. So the ump still makes the initial call.
Okay.
Just like with the challenge system for calls at the plate, the ump still makes the original call. And then it's up to players, coaches, whatever, to challenge it and say, I disagree. Carmack, what do you think?
I think that does help baseball a lot, and it does help sports a lot because of the simple fact that
Never said that.
games get set up by umpires. We ain't going umpires, referees. It stops the games from being rigged so much. That's why they don't want too many challenges, but they just want just enough that where the umpire or the referee can't determine the factor of a game, like calling a striker ball when it really wasn't, and that could drastically change a certain game, like maybe the World Series or maybe a key playoff game for a team that haven't had a playoff run. You know what I mean? So I think it could be good for MLB.
What do you think? What do you think, Mo?
I think anything that pushes the game forward and doesn't hurt the integrity of the game is a good thing. He's right that one play, one missed call can determine a series. That losing in a series could change not just players' lives, but coaches' lives. It's that big a deal. So anything to get things more accurate, I'm for that.
Good morning, Erica.
What's up, Erica?
But if you look at this comment here, and I know he's probably just kidding around, but again, my issue is, and the way you interpreted it, is that AI creates that, and when AI creates that box to whether you call the call order, and you say it's tailored to that particular player, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I don't know, because I know AI is taking over, and I know AI is becoming a way of life. I use it from time to time myself, but AI is not always gonna be correct or spit out the prompt that you want to generate or do whatever. So I don't know, man. I'm 50-50 on it, because again, the reliability of it is my only issue.
And I will say, when they tested it in spring training this year, 52% of the challenges that the batters made, they won. So just over half the time when they challenged a pitch, that pitch called by the umpire, they were right. And we've got, because you get some of these guys, especially these guys that are experienced, like we'll use Mookie Betts or Aaron Judge as an example. Those guys know where their strike zone is. They know where the actual view is, and they know pretty accurately if it's right or not. Nobody's coming to see the umpires play. They want to see Mookie Betts or Aaron Judge at the plate for as long as possible, so that they have a chance to send that ball yard, because that's what the chicks dig, the long ball.
Yep.
So I think to that extent, it definitely helps baseball. And baseball made a huge change with the pitch timer, because that shortened games quite a bit. Over 90% of games in baseball today are shorter than 3 hours, versus less than 50% 5 years ago. So the pitch timer made a huge change, and I think that if we can add this extra element, because it's not going to be every pitch, we're not going to have batters up there every time going, nope, that's not going to happen.
Of course.
So because
it's going to be a per need basis.
Right. And you're going to have a lot of, those 7, 8, 9 guys. You better not touch your helmet. Those challenges are the guys in the top of the lineup.
Wait, so you're saying that the players can challenge versus the coaches not challenging?
Yeah, the player standing at the plate, the catcher behind the plate, the pitcher, they can challenge it on the field.
I don't think that's good because what if you need that challenge later down the line and the player just blew it? I think they should leave it for. I think they should leave it for coaches to do challenges like they do in other sports.
Leave it for the skipper.
Yeah.
Well, but the hard part is because you've got such a limited and I get what you're saying, and to a point you could be right, but when you have the pitch timer at its longest point between pitches is 20 seconds.
Mhm.
It's usually 16 seconds between pitches. So they don't have time to look at a replay and go, oh, no, we need to challenge that pitch call. So the player has to make that judgment, but you're going to have, just like when you have certain players that are allowed to decide when they're going to steal and certain players that have to be told when they can steal.
Yes.
You're going to have the same thing. Your star players, your Aaron Judges, your Mookie Betts, your Jaron Durans, Raffy Devers, they're going to be able to have a little bit more leeway to decide when they're challenging a pitch. Your pitchers, Pete Alonso, he can decide when he wants to challenge a pitch. Your pitchers, Chris Sale, when Ohtani's on the mound, once he gets back, which is probably going to be, for those that don't know, he's probably going to be back after the All-Star break. He's going to be coming out of the bullpen as a closer or reliever. He's still recovering from Tommy John. But the Dodgers are so overloaded with pitching right now, they don't need him back.
They really need him. Right now.
So they're taking their time. But you're going to see your star players are going to have the ability to decide that. The quarterback can decide at the line if they need to audible. But your third string rookie receiver, they're not audibling a play. They're not, your 9 hitter that's hitting 154 on the season, he better not challenge a pitch. I mean, there's going to be rules within the team on who can do it, but it's definitely going to add a different element to the game because it's not the coaches that are challenging it; it's the players.
It's the players. And you brought up something earlier with the pitch clock. Because with me, unless I'm watching the Mets, I really didn't watch baseball until it came down to playoff baseball. But now it just makes the game more enjoyable because you're not sitting in front of your TV screen all night per se as you were in the past. Now you can 3 hours. I got 3 hours. I can watch this baseball game, enjoy myself, then go about the rest of my day or my night. So that was the biggest change in baseball to me.
When they first announced the pitch timer, I was really unsure about it because on some side you have these pitchers that have a 40-second windup and these batters that between every pitch, they're taking 2 minutes out of the plate to readjust their gloves, call their mom, fix their bat, take a couple of practice hats, retape the bat, add some more pine tar, wave to a couple of fans, sign an autograph. Like, you guys get my point. So I get it. And then I went to a spring training, which, by the way, if you're ever in Florida or Arizona during spring training, go to a game. It's still got that old school baseball feel. There's a lot less fans. A lot of times teams have stuff from their ballparks in their spring training park. Like, I went to a Cubs spring training game down in Arizona a couple of years ago and got a true Chicago dog. Like, it's definitely gets you an experience that you wouldn't get otherwise unless you were at that stadium. So I highly recommend going to spring training games. It's a great experience. But I sat down. It was a noon game. I sat down. 2.5 later, I was at the bar with my friends drinking. And it went to the bottom, and the game went to the bottom of the 9th inning. That's what we expect. We go to a football game. We're going to go tailgate. We're going to go to the game, and 2.5 later, we're at the bar getting ready to get thrown out because we're already too drunk to be there. Like that's the sports experience for us as fans, and with most over half of all bar parks are now in a downtown area. The Kansas City Royals are working on moving theirs into downtown Kansas City. This is where it's going. So you have the benefit of the fact that these people now are going to be spending less time at the ballpark and are going to be able to spend more money in those downtown areas at a lot of local businesses. And that's money that's staying in your city or in that city.
Yep.
Because they're not going to be tired. It's a lot easier to go to a game at 7, and then go to the bar afterwards and still go to work the next morning because you weren't at the game for 4 hours or, stuff like that. So the initial resistance to the pitch clock, I was unsure of it myself, but after experiencing it, it was a good call because
ain't no, since I seem to have a hater here this morning. No, it's not the human factor, but it was a great thing to do for baseball because it sped the game up.
I think it is a human factor because a lot of guys, like I said, there were guys that had long routines between pitches, pitchers that had long warm-ups. They were forced to shorten that and make it more efficient. And that impacted some guys. That first 2 months after the pitch clock went into effect, there were some pitchers and some hitters that went through some growing pains. But now everybody's used to it.
Look at that. Got a hater.
You got a troll in the.
I got a hater this morning. It's all good though. It's all.
It must
good.
be one of your exes or something like that.
It must be. It must be. It might have been somebody I stuffed in the locker as a kid. I don't know. Keep it coming. I ain't scared. I love you too, man.
I love you too. Let's see. And then I think that was. Oh man, just everybody offer up your thoughts and prayers to Paul Skeens. He's stuck on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh yeah.
Has only given up 8 runs, or has only given up 19 runs total in 13 starts, and has lost 8 of those games because the Pirates can't produce offense. One of the best pitchers in baseball, just stuck for probably a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
So let's move it along. Will, talk to me about some WWE, good brother.
All right. Last night, and me and Mo, I gotta give Mo all the props in the world today. Me and Mo, we called it. I called the fact that the title was going to change hands on a Monday Night Raw. Mo said it was going to happen last night. That wasn't to the person we thought it was going to be to, but he lost. Jey Uso loses to Gunther last night to win the World Heavyweight Championship. I sort of kind of see it in a way, but because you can go back and look at it, I think Gunther has Jay's number. I really do think Gunther has Jay's number. I think Jay is like 1-2 or 1-3 against Gunther. So he has his number. And now he's the champion. Mo, I'm gonna go to you. Did you see last night coming? Because I thought it would have been Seth would have cashed in, or maybe some type of some shenanigans or something like that. But Gunther did his thing last night.
He did. Look, I knew Jay was going to lose the belt last night.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And you and I both thought maybe it was going to be Seth cashing in, but they had this buildup over the last 2 weeks that Jey Uso had been doing too much and he was getting worn down and his body was beaten down.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously at Money in the Bank, he took another beating in that match.
Right there. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah, he took another beating in that match. And so it was already laid out that he was going to lose. I'm not going to lie and say I knew it was going to be Gunther. I just knew he was going to drop the belt.
Yep.
And I think this is one of those things where we won't see Jey Uso for a while, right? Like, this might be where he can dip for 2 or 3 months, because there's so many guys at the top of the card right now. I don't even know what they're going to do with him story wise. Anyway, it makes sense though. It would be Gunther, especially when you remember that Seth can go after anybody's belt.
Yep.
So it's not like him and Gunther are boys or anything like that. So I think that just puts Gunther's belt on the table as well.
Yep.
I don't think Gunther's getting ready to have like a long run again as champion again. I don't. I think Seth Rollins might take it off of his hand, but oh no, somebody mentioned LA Knight. That's rough, but that's rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, for storytelling purposes, I get why they did it that way. What I liked is for that match, he just out and out beat him. There were no shenanigans. Nobody interfered or nothing like that. He just beat him outright. It was a clean pin, and I like that.
And now, Mo, let me ask you this as well. How many guys have we seen? Because his title reign was like 52 days. How many guys have we seen this happen to? Not everybody. There's a lot of stress and strain on guys as a world champion. You're the face. You're the person they look to when you're that world champion. And your nights increase. When you go out there, your nights increase when you go out there. And again, it's a lot, and certain guys can handle it, and certain guys can't. We've seen guys crumble. Another good thing last night that we got the death of R-Truth and the emergence of Ron Killings. He cut his dreads off last night. He said Ron Killings is here.
Was that necessary though?
I think he might be turning heel. I think he gonna see heel.
I mean, but can't you turn heel without cutting your dreads off? Like,
I think he did it as a statement to show the turn. That's what I think.
That was kind of extreme. Like, he could have went down and got a fade or something.
Yeah. He didn't have to cut it. He didn't have to do all that on stage out there last night.
What he did was some janky stuff. He should.
But I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, he was. Yeah, you right, Keith. You right. What's up, Keith? But I like it, man. I like it, and I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. I don't know if this is gonna happen, but if you put him on some type of a run at 52 years old, that's crazy.
He's 52,
52, 53. He's my age.
But you can do that in wrestling. If you're a guy that's in great shape and you maintain yourself. Cena's the champ right now, and he's not young. So I mean,
48, 46, 47.
Yeah, he can get another run. He can get another push. So I don't think, especially if he's going to turn heel, that makes it very interesting.
Because if you look at everything he's done everything but been a world heavyweight champion at WWE. He's done everything else. Hell, he's still recognized as NWA's first black world heavyweight champion. He still recognizes that. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he brings to the table, what he's gonna do. And thank you to the fans for bringing him back. And one last thing, we got the emergence of Bayley. She came back last night. I thought that was funny as hell because she came out of nowhere and got Becky Lynch from behind. What you think about that, Mo?
I didn't know when it was happening, but I knew it was gonna happen. I'm glad it happened last night. That just sets up for the next pay-per-view, Bayley versus Becky for the belt.
Yep.
So that's going to be entertaining. It might be a triple threat because Valkyria is not out of the picture.
No.
So I think you're going to get an entertaining match at the next pay-per-view. I was glad to see Bayley back. She's one of my low-key favorites, so it was good to see her back.
Oh, real quick, Anthony, Nikki Bella is back, and this is my true opinion. She got a divorce. But she's the one that has to pay alimony and child support. So that's why you see Nikki Bella back. You want to talk about equality? There you go.
That's tough.
But that's all I got, fellas.
Let's get straight into it, man. Angel Reese made history. 500 points, 500 rebounds in 40 games. Hey, give her a little respect, man. You know, she a board queen, you know, but she can't get no buckets. But it's all right, man. It's all right. But my thing is, though, so people want people to take the WNBA serious, right? So we got games like the Chicago Sky, who was in going up against the Indiana Fear like a couple nights ago, and nobody on the team hit double figures. I don't know any NBA teams, even the worst teams when they had trash seasons, even the Pistons when they won barely any games, or there was still at least somebody who came in and dropped at least 15, 20 points off the bench or who was on the court.
Right.
But that was, and they want us to take this serious, man. That is you can't take a franchise like that serious. Like 7. Can we take Angel Reese in the WNBA serious when they got people like her as a star?
That's a very loaded question. So I'm going to start with this. It's hard to be able to take the WNBA seriously when stuff like this happens, but there's other implications for this as well. People are talking about the WNBA expanding. Are you really going to tell me that we don't have enough talent for the WNBA to have players, at least one player on the Chicago Sky that can hit double digits? Like that's a problem for me as a basketball fan. Not just counting the WNBA. They're wanting to expand and they don't have enough talent. Like, and then we look at Angel Reese, who thought her signature shoe should be priced at $1,000. Like construction workers aren't going to spend that much on a bricklaying shoe. I just don't think it's going to happen. But I appreciate her confidence. Like, and this is the thing, like for an entertainment purposes and, and stuff like I appreciate her confidence because it at least makes it interesting, gives us something to talk about. Because talking about how awesome Caitlin Clark is all the time, it's going to be boring after a while. Talking about how great Aisha Wilson or Kelsey Plum,
right there,
one of her interviews,
right there. Yep, right. Right there. Yep.
Yeah, that's 100% key. Like this is, and why is it still Chicago that has a crappy sports franchise? They're like the White Sox of the WNBA right now.
Because Angel Reese is on there. She can be one of those players, but she's just not. I don't know. She need to be coached more or something. I don't know. She
needs somebody to pull her.
She's like an influence. She's like a social media influencer who plays basketball. That's what.
Right.
That is.
It's not a basketball player who's a social media influencer. She's an influencer playing basketball. I agree. Yep. She needs someone to really take her to the side and show her the game. So at least a Leslie type, somebody to show her how to play. They showed a couple of Now I will give. You're seeing you see some flashes of her out there, bringing the ball up, distributing to her teammates and things of that nature. If she would do more of that, I think you might get her more productive out there. But when it comes to her being the offensive focal point, she ain't it. She needs like Key just said, she needs a coach that's going to help her and develop her. And if Chicago hasn't done that, they haven't done anything to help her at all be the superstar that she possibly could be. And until that happens, this is what we're gonna get.
Even if he has Chicago, because Jordan's probably not gonna be one that would spend time with her and help her. But like Pippen, he wants attention. Could you imagine Angel Reese and Scottie Pippen doing some work together and making some content? That would be some of the most crazy shit we would ever hear somebody say. But
shoot, man, I don't care who worked with her. I don't care if it's Bill Cartwright that worked with her. Somebody need to work with her.
I mean, make her go spend some time with Becky Hammond.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, somebody.
Like somebody that will actually coach her, because it takes talent to get that many rebounds, especially when they are swarming her because they know her going to be down there in the paint. And she still gets the rebound. She's got verticality. But she doesn't distribute as consistently as she should, and she can't finish shots. Somebody has to coach that out of her.
True, but
to be fair,
Chicago ain't got no scorers on there either. They're just trash. I wouldn't pass the ball out either.
It's not just her.
Right. Let's hear from Mo. She looks clumsy out there too, guys. When she just looks uncoordinated and clumsy. She reminds me of a goofy giraffe when she's out there. I don't know, man.
Mo, what you think about that?
To be fair, if she were in the NBA, and she'd be a power forward or five. So I want to remind people, she's not a perimeter player. She's not going to break somebody down off the dribble. She's a four. No. She's a post player. So most of her work's going to be done in the restricted area. And I keep hearing people talk about what she doesn't do well. All right, well, where did she play her college ball at? LSU?
Yep.
Who was her head coach?
Yep.
I guess she didn't do a good job. Maybe she's overrated as a coach.
She also had Flaugier out there getting buckets, somebody to pass the ball to when she grabbed the board.
Right. But here's the thing. She plays on a team where there's going to be a lot of offensive rebounds because they miss a lot. They miss a lot. There's a reason why she gets a lot of rebounds. She's on a team that's very bad. There's always going to be rebounds to be had. So I'm not killing her. She's on a bad team. But I just want to point out, Kim Mulkey didn't do a great job. Kim Mulkey can draft big name players, but she didn't develop her.
She can recruit big players.
About what Angel Reese didn't do well at LSU.
Yeah, so she can recruit big time players.
I agree. She is a bigger celebrity than she is basketball player, but she also is still young enough to where somebody can develop her and make her into a better basketball player.
But
Yeah,
Mo, can I say
gotta,
this
you
too?
gotta want that though. Like when Kobe was
Right.
in the playoffs and he shot an air ball twice in a playoff game. You know what he did? He was in the gym. Hey, bro, ain't got nothing else to
Went
talk
back to the
about. I'm in the
lab.
I'm in the gym with it. Like get in
Went
the
back
gym
to
and
the
make
lab.
layups. Like even Rudy Gobert had 20-point nights some nights. Hello, Rudy? Is he a scorer? No, he's just a rebounding defender, like Angel Reese is.
She needs to.
Is
She needs to get. If she took the low block and can develop a shot, free throw line extended, that's all she needs. That's all she needs.
And she also needs to be surrounded by better teammates too.
Yeah,
Like,
she needs. She needs
they're
better
a
teammates
bad,
and
they're a
heavier players.
badly
Yes.
constructed roster
Yes.
with a bad coach, and it's a bad franchise. I would just say she's not a finished product.
No.
And she needs to watch out because better other ladies are starting to come in. We're gonna see Juju not too long from now. And when Juju hits, hopefully she comes in healthy.
No, we gotta see Juju after that ACL too.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully she comes back healthy and is ready to go. Some of that attention might be put on the Juju and less off of her. So we have to see.
Let's get straight into the big news. You know how it go. Mo, I'm coming straight to you, man. Hey, man, A-Rod. I got a thing for you today, Mo. You know what you like to do, man.
Here it is.
You know what you like to do, man. But we gonna go straight to the question, man. A-Rod, 41 years old, signing his contract, man. But I'm gonna start with this. Is it more at stake for Tomlin or A-Rod this season?
I think it's more at stake for Tomlin because if the Steelers underachieve, I don't think Aaron Rodgers loses any sleep over it. He's still going to get paid. He's going to walk away. I think Aaron Rodgers is the kind of guy he's going to be fine. But Mike Tomlin won't be fine if they're a sub 500 team and don't make the playoffs. Mike Tomlin's going to get fired.
7. What you think, good brother?
I think it's definitely Tomlin. Like I said last night on Sports Report, with some of the stuff that Tomlin's doing at this point, it's like a tenured professor at a college that knows that they're probably not going to get fired. Or if they are, they don't care because they've been doing it for so long. They're ready to retire anyway. Like just bonkers ass decisions. Like who waits for Aaron Rodgers? Like really, I just
that was confusing to me too.
Especially with the opportunity, they could have Shedeur Sanders right now. Like in the third round on his
deal.
Was
a stipulation? You think he went there in the office and said, "Hey, if you draft Shedeur, I'm not coming," and they was like, "You know what? We ain't gonna draft him." We'll wait for you, Aaron.
If I'm a team and Aaron Rodgers comes in and says, "I'll sign with you guys closer to the start of training camp," but if you sign Shedeur Sanders, I'm not signing with you guys. Okay, bye.
See you.
Right.
You are because you're leveraging your future on a 1-year rent-a-asshole that's going to spend more time talking to the media than talking to the rookies and coaching them up like he should. And like me personally, I'm not about that because that's best case scenario. He messes with the culture of that team.
Yeah. Will, how excited should Steel Nation be about Aaron Rodgers?
Shouldn't be excited at all. That's going to be a terrible offense. Maybe if you would have kept George Pickens, okay, I got you. But yeah, this is going to be a terrible offense. DK can't run routes. I'm still unsure if Jalen Warren is going to be a 4-down running back. The offensive line is questionable. And because the offense is going to be questionable, it's going to put that good defense in bad spots. So I just think this is a bad move. I think Tomlin's done. I think he's done. This isn't going to, I don't think it's going to work out very well for him. Aaron Rodgers might not be able to be as manipulative with the Steelers as he was with teams in the past, the Jets, the Packers, because that's a good solid front office. So he might not be able to manipulate as he's done in the past, but man, this is a terrible offense and I don't think they're going to do very well. And you're in a division to where you're going to have to be able to put up points offensively. And I think this will just struggle and this is going to be the end for Tomlin. Now, does he get another coaching job somewhere else? Probably so. Still going to be a good coach, but at some point the message gets tired, and eventually you have to move on.
I mean, granted, from you going from Mason Rudolph to Aaron Rodgers, I mean, Mo, should Steelers Nation be excited about this pickup?
Well, I think they're more excited than they were when they thought Mason Rudolph was going to be the starting quarterback. So, yeah, they're excited because you can get, if nothing else, you can get at least competent quarterback play. But I want to remind people the Steelers have one of the worst offensive lines in football. Yeah. And you're putting a 41-year-old quarterback back there who's not nearly as mobile as he once was. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to work out well because a quarterback's best friend, especially if your offensive line is suspect, is a good run game. Well, how are you going to have a good run game if your offensive line isn't very good?
And to get it straight, I like Pat Freiermuth. I really do like Pat. He's a competitor. He goes out there, he competes. I do like Pat Freiermuth. And he could somewhat lessen the blow a little bit. But again, I just don't think this is a very good offense.
And don't forget that defense, it's a really good defense. But I don't care how good your defense is. If your offense goes 1, 2, 3 and out, 3 and out,
Yep.
3 and out, and 3 and out,
Yep.
Your defense wears down. It wears down. It's the reason why the Ravens rushed for over 250 yards on that defense twice. Because they shut the offense down and the defense stayed on the field.
And in that division with the Ravens, Cleveland's got a good defense as well. It's going to be tough.
7. This is Mo and Will let her do this, man. You need a quarterback to make a playoff run.
Oh, here
Who you going with? Are you going with Aaron Rodgers? Or are you going to go with Tua Tagovailoa?
Which line are we talking about? Because if it's the Steelers line, I'm not putting Tua back there. He's been through enough. That poor guy needs some
too much in depth. Let's say you got a team set up to make a playoff run.
Okay.
Who's gonna be your quarterback?
I'd rather take Tua.
You gonna take Tua?
I'd take Tua because it's first of all, through a playoff run, you're not going to have to worry about Tua getting mad at one of his receivers and refusing to throw at him. And that's literally a thing that Aaron Rodgers has done. We can't ignore stuff like this with him. And so like Tua's biggest problem is protection. Otherwise, he's actually a really good receiver. He has thrown some amazing deep balls to like J Ram and Tyreek and stuff like that. Like he is a great quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is a locker room distraction, a diva, and I'm going with Tua.
Will.
Tua all day.
You going Tua?
Tua all day.
What if you get a concussion in the middle of your playoff run?
But that's everybody.
He's cooked. No, that's not everybody. That's Tua.
No, that's everybody. Your offensive line has to worry about keeping everybody upright regardless. But I just trust Tua more than I do Rodgers at this point in his career. I just trust Tua more.
Mo.
So just to go over your parameters, it's a team that's built to win now, and you're just saying which guy you would have at quarterback.
Exactly.
I would take Rodgers. He's a jerk, but he's still a better quarterback than Tua. Tua's never. I don't think Tua's ever won a playoff game. Like he's been really good in the regular season, but every time he gets in the postseason, completely different players. So even though I don't think either option is great, I'm still going to go with Rodgers because he's proven he can win in the postseason. Tua's never done that.
That's fair.
All right, Mo, let's run it back. Playoff Flacco, Aaron Rodgers.
You know what? I like Joe Flacco. And everything I've heard about him is he's a great guy in the locker room as well. So he's a pro's pro. I'll take Joe Flacco. You're talking about Joe Flacco versus the current version of Aaron Rodgers. I'll take Joe Flacco on a really good team.
Will, who you going with?
Flacco.
7.
Same.
You going Flacco?
All day.
All right. Will. Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers.
Damn. On a team that's ready to go now?
We going with it. You got a team that can make a playoff run. Who you going with, man?
He's
Give us some time to
younger.
think. 7. Give me one.
Sam
Who you got?
Darnold.
Oh, you
Sam
want
Darnold.
Yeah.
Darnold.
Yep. Sam Darnold.
I gotta go Donald. He's younger. I mean, like Aaron Rodgers could get injured easier. If we're gonna throw in what if Tua's could get a concussion halfway through the playoff run? Aaron Rodgers could break a hip or something halfway through a playoff run. So I'm going youth. I gotta go Sam Darnold.
You know what he'll do, 7? What would he do, 7? I'm gonna come back faster than any other player from this injury.
Mo, who you
exactly
going
what
with?
he'll do.
I'll
go
go
with
with
Mo?
Sam Darnold as well.
You going with Darnold too?
He's 27.
right.
He's 27 years old.
I mean,
Yeah.
we talking about win right now. You need a quarterback to win.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm also
Yeah.
thinking about my quarterback and what he can and can't do. I'll take Darnold.
Taking Darnold. 7. Russell Wilson's Aaron Rodgers.
His
Right
name is
now-
Sierra's
right now,
husband.
Yeah, that's Sierra's husband.
No, right
Sierra's
now.
husband.
Let's get that right. Sierra's husband.
Sierra's
yes.
husband or A-Rod. Sierra's husband or Danica Patrick's ex-boyfriend.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
Honestly, okay. In this one, I gotta take Aaron Rodgers. I'm definitely more out on Aaron Rodgers, but in that situation, Russell Wilson's had a lot of opportunities that he should have been far more successful, and he wasn't. Aaron Rodgers can at least get a basic team to the playoffs consistently. And so that means like you give me something good run like that out of those two. Because like Russ needed a top tier defense to get his. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
Will.
I'm going Aaron Rodgers.
Mo.
I think I'll go with Russ.
Going Russ?
Yeah, I think I'll go with Russ. I mean, the funny thing is we tried to kill him in Denver, but the guy put up 28 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in a couple of seasons, like back to back, basically on a terrible offense, not a good defense. And they killed him for being that. Aaron Rodgers was that all year on the Jets, and they were like, he played pretty good in the second half of the season. So I think the problem with Russ is every team he's been on since he left, Denver didn't love him initially because he came in there overly arrogant, and then Sean Payton didn't like him from the get-go. That wasn't his guy. So he destroyed him. I think that the Steelers didn't want him. They settled for him. I don't think he's been somewhere where somebody actually said, we still think you can play. Here's the football. Let's see what you can do. Because remember, he didn't start for the Steelers at first.
No.
He eventually took over. I think if Russell Wilson can stay healthy, I don't think it's an exaggeration that he can give you a 30 touchdown, 10 pick season. Now, are you going to win 12, 13 games? No, especially not on the Giants. But we're going with this scenario right now, and he's got a good team around him. I've seen what he's done with a good team around him. I'm taking Russ.
I'm taking Russ. So I'm going to go with Will. We going to go Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, man. Aaron Rodgers, man.
Who was that again?
Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes.
Oh God, no, I'm not doing that.
You're not doing that. You're not doing Danny either.
We're not doing Danny. You know,
He's got one thing over Aaron
wait.
Rodgers. He's probably really fit and healthy, but no, I'm good.
He's still known for tripping up before he got to the goal line. He's still known for that. That clip is still being played.
7. Who you going with? A-Rod? A-Rod?
Danica's ex-boyfriend. Danica's ex-boyfriend for sure.
A-Rod.
Mo. Jameis Winston. A-Rod.
You know what? If I'm want to entertain my fan base, I think I'll take Jameis.
Yep. I'm about to say the same thing. I'm about to say
we're gonna have a wild ride, but it's gonna be entertaining.
Oh yeah, gonna be plenty of W's.
We're gonna put up a lot of points. We're gonna help the other team get some points, but it's gonna be a wild ride. I think I'll take Jameis.
You gonna take
it might be a blast.
You gonna take Jameis Winston in clutch time and playoff time over A-Rod?
Wait, you're talking about the current version of A-Rod. Like, I get it if you were talking about Aaron Rodgers 4 years ago in the Packers, it would be a no-brainer. But the guy I've seen a couple of years with the Jets, I think I think it's worth it for the entertainment factor alone. He's a party. Jameis is a blast. I'll take
Give
Jameis.
them W's, boy. I'm telling
7.
you.
Who you going with, Pastor Wilson or A-Rod, man, for a playoff run?
Reverend, as I call him, Reverend Jameis Winston.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like it is what Kyle said. He's a better leader. You need a strong leader in a deep playoff run. I'm taking Winston in that scenario because those pregame speeches you could sell slots to watch him on pay-per-view, and the NFL would rake in money.
Wow.
I'm going with and Winston post eye surgery is a relatively accurate quarterback. And let's also not ignore the fact that it is really hard to have a 30 touchdown, 30 interception season. Like that's not easy for anybody to do. So I'm going with the Reverend.
I ain't taking no Jameis Winston, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. 30 and 30, bro.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You can't take away what he did in Tampa. The man couldn't see.
My man throwing blind, deep bombs to Mike Evans, who was young.
But listen, the man was blind. You just said it. The man was blind out there giving you 30 touchdowns. Come on now.
Hell no, man.
And you eat, and you know you're gonna eat good because you got plenty of W's coming your way. Come on, man.
No.
Come on, man.
Let's switch gears here. Mo, you the NBA expert, man. Knicks fired head coach Tom Thibodeau. You know, did you think this was fair, even though he had the Knicks overachieve?
I didn't have a problem with it. Look, Tibbs did a lot for the Knicks. I always keep pointing it out. He's the coach that resurrected the entire franchise. He made them relevant again. He made them respectable. He turned them into contenders. He deserves all those flowers. But I want to remind people, he's done that at 2 other stops. My point with Tibbs is he is terrific at resurrecting bad franchises, but he's not good at taking them beyond that part. He's good at the resurrection. He's not good at getting anybody to the finals. I think there's a ceiling of success with Tom Thibodeau as your head coach, and he's reached it once again with the Knicks.
Well,
some of that wasn't on him though. I think I wouldn't have traded those five first round picks. I wouldn't have done that. That wasn't Thibodeau. That was the front office, I believe, in my mind. But everything else, so I agree with Mo. He definitely has a ceiling. His offenses have not been that great, and he relies too much on his starters and not enough on his bench, i.e. Derrick Rose. So I didn't have a problem with it. The man needs an offensive coordinator is what he needs. He needs somebody out there to help him get a good offense going. Defensively, he's great, even though the Knicks wasn't that great defensively in the playoffs, but he's a great defensive coach in normal circumstances. But yeah, I did have a problem with this firing. It's time to move on.
7. You think this was fair to Thibs, man?
I think it was time. I do feel like that there's a point where I do feel bad for him because really you got Cat getting him fired twice. Like there's that piece of it. But like,
yeah.
At the same time, like they said, there's a ceiling with Tibbs. Until he learns to use his bench more effectively, this is his ceiling.
Go back and look at minutes played for all the players he had on this team. They're all in like the top 15, top 20 in the league of everybody who's played minutes wise. They're all leaders. That's a shame. That's a shame. But yeah, I don't have a problem, particularly if you can bring in Mike Malone. Oh yeah, you do that all day.
So, Will, with the firing of Thiz, man, they got a coach in mind. Is looking at Jason Kidd, man. What's the more appealing job for Jason Kidd right now? Is it the Mavericks or is it the Knicks?
I'm staying with the Mavericks. I'm staying with the Mavericks and that potential they have with Cooper Flag. I'm staying with Dallas. I'm not leaving.
Mo, what's the more appealing job for Jason Kidd? Knicks, Mavs?
Oh, I think it's the Mavericks. I think it's the Mavericks because you do have the number 1 pick, which I assume they're going to do a smart thing and draft Cooper Flag. He has the potential to be one of those kind of guys that can step right in and be an impactful player from day one. And to pair him with Anthony Davis, with Gafford, Lively, and some of those other supplemental parts, they're going to be a really good team. And then by mid-season, to get Kyrie back, that could be a problem.
Go ahead,
Well,
Seven.
I mean, on the surface, it has to be Dallas, right? But
Mhm.
there's also a lot of question marks with Dallas too. The Knicks aren't the only team with question marks because Anthony Davis is not reliable. That dude gets injured
Amen.
more than my ego walking through a Victoria's Secret fashion show. Okay, so and are you going to have Anthony Davis healthy when Kyrie comes back? Are you
Right.
going to have are you going to have Nico Harrison trying to trade Kyrie for a concession stand worker to be named later and a security guard because Kyrie doesn't walk into the locker room and tap a picture of Nico and go praise him? Like, what's going to be the environment that Cooper Flag's going into? So on the surface, yeah, but to me, there's just as many question marks on the Mavs right now as there are in the Knicks, and that's with the drafting of Cooper Flag.
Mm.
No, I think that's fair. I think that's fair that there's question marks both ways. The only thing I'm saying is what gets lost in the sauce and all this, the Knicks overachieved. They overachieved. They weren't supposed to be in the conference finals. They overachieved. Nobody had the Knicks beating the Celtics. Nobody, not even Knicks fans, put their money on the Knicks to beat the Celtics. They overachieved.
Honestly, I don't think they would have Jason Tatum didn't get hurt.
So they really weren't supposed to be there.
Hey, victim of circumstances, man. You got to take what you get, right?
Facts.
But let's move on, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. But I know I got a special shout out to Kyle because he's the Boston fan, man. The rumor mill is rumoring. And 7, Jaylen Brown has been rumored to be traded to the Spurs to be paired up with Wemby. How do we like this? Boston's in a financial struggle, so they're going to be moving some pieces.
I think that we're going to see a very quick rebuilding year for Boston, and I think that Tatum's going to come back to a different team, but I don't think it's a bad thing because I think that a fresh lineup and some fresh people for him to put some work in with. When he comes back, he's going to kind of have a good view of what the new guys are going to look like and what they can do. And they're going to be able to build a more effective offense and defense around him with these new players. It was only a matter of time before Brown had to go because if he's going to get paid, he's not staying on them. He's not staying on that team because they're not going to want to hold on to him.
Will, talk to me about this, man.
I don't think you see Brown go anywhere. I do think you see Drew Holiday go. He's going to be 30. He's going to be. He's going to be 36.
Financial struggles. They got to move some big pieces. They got to move people with the biggest salary hits.
Well, see, the only thing about
a big salary.
But see, the only thing, Drew is a huge salary, and he's going to be 36. I will look. They'll probably move from him, and to be quite honest, because I know Horford's going to be gone. They might be looking at Porzingis too to get off the books. So I do agree it's going to be a different team that Tatum comes back to. But I think you keep Brown because if you keep Brown, they might sort of kind of revolt because he is part of that core in Boston. So I would be looking more at Drew Holiday and Porzingis than anything else.
Mo, talk to me about this, man.
Brad Stevens is one of the smartest GM/presidents in all the NBA. The only way Jaylen Brown is going to the Spurs, the only way, and I'm not even guaranteeing it is, they must be giving up that number 2 pick along with a young talent.
Is he really worth that pick?
Well, it depends on what you think about the Spurs. The Spurs might say, look at our roster. Wemby, we've got De'Aaron Fox, we've got Stephen Castle, and now we're going to add Jaylen Brown. Maybe to the Spurs, that core 4 makes it worth it. But I'm just saying that Brad Stevens is one of the really smart, forward-thinking execs. I don't think Jaylen Brown's getting traded. He's not going anywhere. He will be right there waiting for Jason Tatum when Jason Tatum comes back the season after next.
Let me ask you, Mo, could we see Drew Holiday back in Milwaukee?
No, I don't think so because they would have to make the trade. Milwaukee is devoid of talent around Giannis, but I don't think they're going to bring back an older Drew Holiday. They moved Drew Holiday out when he was 3 years younger, so they're not going to take him back older. So I think Drew's not going to go back to Milwaukee, but I could see him getting traded to another ready-made team that's ready to win now because Drew's the kind of guy, put him on a contender, he's an impactful player in a different role.
Yes.
7, what you got for me, big dog?
I wanted to Kyle was what Kyle said about the number 2 pick for Brown. Like, no, I like at best the 14. Like, but I don't think they're sending that number 2 pick away. Like, there's if you're going to trade for Brown, I don't think the number 2 pick is worth it because they're going to grab Dylan Harper out of that, and I think that's a much better. The 14 pick is much better because at that point they're just going to start getting rich, really. So you can get something out of the 14th pick still.
All right, 7. Talk to me, man. We got Kevin Durant, man. We all know Kevin Durant going somewhere. He ain't staying in Phoenix. So landing potential landing spots is the Spurs, Timberwolves, Rockets, Warriors, and Knicks. Will be the best fit for KD.
As a Suns fan, I'm gonna say this as a Suns fan first. I hope it's not the Knicks. Because that means we're probably getting Karl Anthony Towns back, and I will literally. I'm leaving the Suns if that happens. Because if they allow that trade to happen, I'm done. Madishbia is cooked. Like just 2 years into being an owner, he's toast. If he lets that trade happen, I think as far as fits for him, I think the Spurs or the Rockets would be the best choice.
Mo, KD, where is his best fit?
I think if you're Phoenix, you want to go to the Rockets because, like we've already talked about, the Rockets have Phoenix's picks. They have their draft picks. You make that trade to get your picks back. So it makes that makes complete sense if you're the Suns. Look, I get it. Nobody would be excited in Phoenix if you get back Cat. On the surface, I get that. But I want to remind people that is a 5-time All-Star. That is a 3-time All-NBA player who's 30. And while he's not perfect, he's a better basketball player than Bradley Beal. And you took on that contract.
But that's the thing is Bradley Beal's contract is such a problem, man. Like, and that's honestly like if they had done what they should have done last year with him.
Don't he got a no trade clause?
He got no trade clause in that. Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. He's got to waive his no trade in order to do anything.
No trade.
He ain't waiving that.
Bradley Beal's on social media laughing right now.
He ain't waiving that.
I ain't going nowhere, bro. I'm getting my money.
Yep. Get my money.
Will, talk to me, man. Rumor, Ja Morant could be possibly going to South Beach. How do we like that?
It don't matter. It don't matter. You gonna get the same Ja Morant that you got pretty much in Minnesota. You still got Bam there. So who you moving? You ain't moving Bam. They gonna keep Bam. So who you gonna Hero? Mo, who you moving in this? You moving Hero and Duncan Robinson?
Hero and some picks, right?
Yeah, Hero and some picks. I still don't like it for Miami.
So Bam and Ja Morant as your centerpieces.
I don't like it.
That'll get you in the play-in, maybe. Like,
yeah,
what is that?
I don't like it. It's still not bringing you a title. It's still not bringing you a title.
Bam more of a dog than Jaren Jackson, and they got into the play-in.
But it still ain't winning you a title,
right? But they're just going to be in the play-in with Bam and Ja Morant. Like,
yeah.
What's the difference? You're not making a move that's a huge difference. Like Ja Morant is a better highlight reel than Tyler Hero, but not a better shooter or a better passer. So how much of an upgrade is it?
Right. I just don't.
7. We like Ja Morant South Beach. Man, he could become the smaller version of Dwayne Wade there.
No, he ain't.
I can't. Here's the thing. First off, that's a bad environment for Dwayne for Ja Morant.
Oh,
exactly.
Like, first of all, that's a bad environment for Ja Morant. I'm going to say that up front. And the second, because like we've talked about, I think on this show, last time I was on it, we talked about the fact either this or the first time, Ja Morant needs to be in a place with a more established culture because, and he cannot be a leader. He can be somebody, he can be a focal point, but Ja Morant can't be a leader. He needs to be in a place with established culture and an established leader where he's a 2 at the best. And there's too many distractions in Miami for him. Like, don't get me wrong, the women are beautiful, but he's gonna be spending too much time chasing tail and chasing thug life.
Yep.
I can't. No, I'm sorry, I can't do it. There's too much.
Thug life is crazy.
That's the truth, though. That's the truth, though. That's the truth, though. And Kyle, this is perfect. Kyle, that's perfect. You can't trust. That is perfect. You can't trust y'all on Instagram in Memphis. And now
ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody stopping by, man. I appreciate our special guest 7, man. You got any closing remarks for our people?
If the Boston Red Sox trade Jarren Duran at the deadline, I'm going to literally cry. That's my closing remark.
Big Will, what you got for our people?
Thank you for having me this morning. I do appreciate it. And it's good to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. I'm Carmike and Big Mo. If you mow better, y'all will do better. Close it out.
And thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network.